Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. There have been some remarkable developments in both the cases of Kishore Swami and Maridas. And to tell us all about it with a quick update, even as he is busy on the road getting home, is Karthik Gopinath. Karthik, Namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel.
Namaskaram. I can't give you a proper namaskaram because I'm holding the phone and I'm on the move. So, there have
Yes.
been very heartening developments today in both the cases of Sri Maridas and also Mr. Kishore Swami, who's been, incarcerated for the last 6 months under the draconian Gundas Act. So first thing first, it started with Kishore Swami around 11:30. Honorable Judge Shri P.N. Prakash ji and Honorable Judge Hemalata, Madam, their bench had quashed and set aside the Gundas detention order, under which Mr. Kishore Swami had been held for 6 months. Now the question is, if a person can be held for 6 months for no offense of his in a law which is draconian to say the least, and which is used for detaining habitual offenders, rapists, murderers, and people of that sort. This is the only state in which cyber laws are used. This is the only state in which cyber laws are used, and gundas is slapped on such people. So this is a way of curtailing the political dissent or voices which are not in your favor. So this has been set aside by Honorable Madras High Court. Better late than never, but still we have paid. Mr. Kishore K. Swami has paid 6 months of his life. His liberty has been lost. So, having said that, he should be out
We're just
either by
losing you,
today
Karthik.
evening,
I think maybe.
which is the best.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm really sorry about the connectivity. Yeah, am I audible? Yeah. So
Yes, yes. Continue,
he should
please.
be
Yeah.
out in the worst case by tomorrow morning, which is very heartening for all the supporters. So, having said that, the interesting thing is Shri Priyan Prakash ji, who is the Honorable Justice of Madras High Court, it has come in front of his bench. So he had even remarked, I was present in the live session, he had even remarked that you can't put him behind the bars for such political reasons. You can't do this. And he, squarely rejected any arguments put forth by the assistant public prosecutor. In fact, the funny thing is, under his portfolio, he keeps hearing a number of cases of this sort. But what I personally observed was the opposition in other cases was not anywhere close to what was done for Kishore's case by the APP. He was vehemently opposing the release of Kishore K. Swami and, in fact, pleaded the judge to release him probably after Pongal. And for what? For no good reason. So that is the case with Kishore K. Swami. And after 6 months of incarceration, he should be seeing the free world very soon tomorrow. With the case of Maridas, as I'm not sure if the viewers are aware, one FIR was already quashed by the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court. In that particular case, they had approached the Madurai bench, the Madras High Court, stating that the FIR lodged against Mr. Maridas for allegedly putting out a tweet which was divisive in nature, according to the complainant, was quashed by Sri G.R. Swaminathan, Honorable Justice G.R. Swaminathan, who again quashed another FIR today. And in today's case, it so happened that the case was about him talking about Tablighi Jamaat and that allegedly creating some kind of a ruckus in the society. I mean, those were the sections, if I'm right. But again, Mr. Jar stating that there are no grounds for holding him in the prison. So it is a very big victory for all the nationalists who've been working, tirelessly to, take the other side of the details to the public, because the media here is heavily biased, as you know. So these were people who are working relentlessly for dharma and for the nationalist cause. So it's a very, rarely such days happen where you have so much of good news coming across. And I'm also hearing that another nationalist, also a member of the BJP, Mr. Kalyan, his case is also coming up today. I have not been able to follow because too many cases to follow is very difficult. But then I'll keep you posted on that as well. So I will probably, since Shri follows my channel occasionally, I'll give you the details of
Yes.
the proceedings that was held in the Madurai, the Madras High Court under G.R. Swaminathan ji, in which under what grounds he had rejected the application of the government and all that. I'll report it so that you can probably take it to your viewers. And this is a victory for the freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and also for personal liberty. If you can, incarcerate any person just because you are ruling, it sends across a wrong message. And in fact, DMK being a party that is known for its rousing public speeches should not be doing this. And I'm not even sure if my CM, Mr. Stalin, is aware of such happenings, because this is going to put the entire government in bad light. And yeah, so I hope they learn their lessons now and don't torture people. Because, for example, they've sent a defamation notice, a legal notice has been sent to me by one of the most powerful ministers who holds two good portfolios, stating that I defamed him. But it was only funny to me, but I'll give my reply and, of course, post a video on that too.
Karthik, you will come out with flying colors. They are just trying to scare you, and there's nothing else about that. Karthik, so there is still one more FIR against Maridas about that forgery. This is not forgery, it's an email whose sender has not been established. So just calling it forgery is very, very wrong. The Tamil media catches on to something, because forgery immediately means that somebody took somebody's checkbook, signed that person's name, presented 45 lakhs or 50 lakhs to the bank. That is the impression they are trying to create to the people. Again, outright lies. Proton mail is designed for anonymity. They cannot find out who sent it. It could have been anybody in the world. You cannot pin it on Maridas. So this case also shall get squashed. It is only a matter of time, I think. And unfortunately, the court closes tomorrow.
Actually, there's something else that the viewers should know about that particular case, that forged email, in which there is an allegation of forgery against Mr. Maridas. It will not be quashed because a counter complaint has been filed by Maridas' legal counsel, stating that we want to find out who had sent the mail. So you can't be doing this, right? So we will not quash that particular case. In that particular case, the legal counsel is strong. They're not going to quash it. We want to find out who sent the mail, who is the mischief doer here, and why Maridas is being targeted for this. It could be a plan. You never know. I'm just stating a probability. It could be a plan. Also, you should understand that in this particular case, where I think it has gone to the Egmore court, a bail plea hearing is on. I will update you as to whether the bail will be granted, because this is a very fit case for bail being granted. There is no problem at all. Even now, the Supreme Court very recently had stated that bail is the norm and jail is an exception, which is it's the basis of jurisprudence. Supreme Court again reiterated the fact that it should be the norm. And in this particular case, I'm very sure Maridas will get the bail. But the idea, you should also know the idea of keeping him here, because after 23rd, the courts are not functioning. They are going on holidays. So they want to prolong his, jail term as much as possible. Illegal detention is what I would call it from my knowledge. So they want to prolong this illegal detention of Maridas, and that's why they're doing this. And also, the viewer should be aware that Maridas was shuttled from one jail to another, one sub-jail to another. He was shuttled from one court to another. He was not given his, the due rights of a prisoner guaranteed under the CRPC, Criminal Procedure Code. It was not given to him. So he was shuttled from one place to another, all for what? For one case of alleged forgery. And in fact, in the very courtroom, Mr. Maridas had stated that, listen, if you do not know how to find out the sender of the email, my counsel is giving you details as to how you can find it. At least pay heed to that. And that is the counter complaint. If you want to find out who sent the mail, I quoted a mail which I thought was from News 18. So what's wrong with that? So if every time somebody sends an email, we'll probably have to call the office and say, did you send an email? Was it from your side? That's something totally illogical. So that is a problem here, and that is why it will not be quashed. Instead, there will be a bail we will take, and we will probably have to, we have to sue the government for malicious prosecution. So this is the second FIR that has been quashed, which is a very big thing, right? So it clearly shows some kind of a political vendetta, because he's a political commentator. It is for anybody to easily understand that there is ulterior motive in this particular thing. So I hope and pray that Maridas' counsel press for this malicious prosecution of Maridas, as well as, if Supreme Court can take cognizance and see that there is political vendetta being played out using the police machinery.
You have taken me to the next question, and that is under malicious prosecution, how many governments have been sanctioned by the court? Do you know?
You should tell me, please. I'm all ears.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
I know it is not possible. I mean, I know it's very difficult to get that done. But then this is a very fit case. I'll also tell you another thing. I was visiting the High Court today. So one of the advocates who happens to be a follower of our channel is a very senior counsel. He told me that I am suing somebody for perjury, that is lying under oath, which is very famous in the place where you stay, in your jurisdiction. It is very famous, but out here nobody.
Yeah, I'm going to tell how this works in the US after you finish your side.
Yeah, so I was about to come to that. So perjury is a very serious offense there. You can't lie under oath. But here, there are some people trying to take that up as well. So in the evolution of the legal system, we will have new ways of dealing with cases, so that there have been landmark judgments. Why are they landmark? Because they have changed the way we look at laws. For example, the basic doctrine, which was an evolution of the legal system, and also it was a judicial innovation. So I'm hoping and praying that this is a fit case for that judicial innovation to come out. So let's hope for it, sir. But let's not leave any stones unturned, is my suggestion. And
so,
if you can see, my fellows is sleeping.
Yes.
Tired.
So, no, that's fine. Well-deserved rest. So, viewers, I just want to update you about what happens in a similar situation in the United States. It's not as if the US had its laws down completely. In fact, up until 1860s, 1870s, they used to call it the Wild West. And that Wild West was west of the state of Pennsylvania, which is only 100 miles from the East Coast. You see, that big area from Pennsylvania all the way to the Pacific Ocean was called the Wild West, where no laws were there. Anybody with a gun could basically rule the roost. And you got all these Western movies for a few dollars more, all the Clint Eastwood stuff, and so on and so forth. So how did America fix this system? What happens in America is that, first of all, there is anybody who does something wrong, who goes above and beyond his call of duty, is tried in the court. It doesn't matter whether you are a policeman, or whether you are the police chief, or whether you are the mayor, or whether you are the governor of a state. In fact, you know very well how close Bill Clinton came to getting impeached. He, in fact, had to reverse himself and say that I made a mistake, I lied. Only then they let him off. Because never in the history of US, the president has never been impeached, which is why they let him go. It wasn't as if, he was doing something that he was in the clear. It was very clear that he was not in the clear. So what happens in such cases is that the command is very, very clear. Police cannot go beyond their call of duty. Anything like this, arrest this guy under this, should have been a written order from whoever it is that ordered. If there is a verbal order, right there, the policeman is in trouble. Because the guy who gave the order can always say, oh, I didn't give it. Somebody may have been, faking my voice and told you to give it. So see, these kind of problems.
I'd like to bring you back. I'm just taking a second. I'd like to bring you back to this entire issue, and also Mr. Annamalai's statement, which was made, like mockery was made out of it. Mr. R.S. Bharati, who is an MP, says that Annamalai has, no discipline. How can he talk about the DGP? See, all this is happening under the DGP. You have a police force. It is under the DGP, and political dissidents are being, jailed, and it is selectively being done. And all this section 153A, 124A, seditious act being put against a nationalist, which is the funniest part here. And in fact, the judge had remarked in the previous FIR that was quashed in Maridas' case. He said that the complainant states that because of Maridas's words, there could be a problem between DMK and the secessionists. How can you be pally-pally with the secessionists? You have to have a problem with the secessionists. That was the complaint, and under that complaint, based on that complaint, these actions have been taken. So, as you rightly pointed out, you can't take verbal orders. You should probably get written orders, and but that's not how police functions here.
Well, see, somewhere you got to push the reset switch reset button on the PC to get rid of all the buggy software, right? I think India is heading fast towards that. I'll tell you why. It's a gut feeling because too many things are out of whack. But so, people have been given unbridled power. It's not just Tamil Nadu. Look at what happened in Maharashtra. They were after Arnab Goswami, of all people, right? And then now the police commissioner himself is running for bail. So this is what the politicians do. I'm telling all my learned police officers, get it in writing. Otherwise, you could be the next Paramveer Singh. I'm just joking, of course. But the thing here is that there is a chain of command. You got to follow that thing. And it is not at all unusual for the jury to hand down multi-million-dollar settlements for malicious prosecution. Okay, if they touch somebody who happens to have the resources to sue them in a US court of law, I'm telling you that court will sue and pass the sentence against, it doesn't matter, it could be any government in any state government in India. So what I'm trying to say is people have to shape up. India is going towards a $5 trillion economy. It is not going to get there so easily. The land of the law, or the law of the land, I should say. The law of the land has to prevail. Karthik, you want to say something in conclusion? What are your expectations? Do you think Kishore Swami has no other cases pending? This is it and he'll be out?
See, we have bail for Mr. Kishore Swami on all the cases, which means that he has the right to go walk free under, whatever conditions that is imposed.
I'm losing you.
So he can definitely come out probably by tomorrow morning, as well as police reforms. So he can walk free tomorrow. As far as I know, he should be out by tomorrow. In other cases, he does have bail. So this is high time, as you rightly pointed out, to go in for police reforms, because you need to separate law and order and investigation. You need to have a body that looks into the performance of the police. You need a body for reformation. So all these suggestions have already been given by various police commissions, but none of the governments worth their name try to do it because they want yes men working for them. So this is high time such recommendations are paid heed to, and every state government does the needful. So I'm hoping that these judgments will teach a lesson to the state governments or the central government, even in that case, if anything arbitrary is being done and laws are being used to curtail the freedom of people. So it's a good day, and I hope that this is just the first of many to come, and we have a truly democratic nation.
Thank you very much, Karthik, and thanks for coming on at such a short notice. Viewers, please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And as always, Karthik will have his own detailed update once he has his studio set up and all that. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you. Jai Hind.